I want to learn how to play that game that's on TV. Is that a tournament or a limit or no limit? How does that work? Okay, so now we are ready to play our first game of Hold'em. We're going to play 2 and 4 limit Texas Hold'em. So what that means is we're going to cut cards to see who gets to be the dealer. Everybody pick a card, turn it over. High card gets the deal. Diamond Ace. Okay, now we're going to put in our blind bets. He is the dealer, so the very first person to act would be the lady who has to put in the small blind, which is half of the big blind, which is the amount we are playing for at the smaller level. She has placed the small blind in of 1 chip, and she is going to call that chip and raise 1 chip, so that you'll see when the action starts that we're actually going to be starting at the person next to her clockwise left. Shuffle.
Both times I'm gonna have to bet. I'm forced to bet, right?
You'll find out soon enough.
I really take the short straw.
And the last. Take the cut card out. The job that I find so odious is about to begin. Deal the cards. Down. Everyone hold on to your 2 cards. Keep them in front of you. All right, the cards have been dealt for the first round. Now, the action has already started. We already have money in the pot. Whose turn is it? Well, she opened blind for 1. She called 1 and raised 1, so now it is his turn. What are his options? Option number 1, fold up your tent and quit. Throw your cards away. Option number 2, call or match, or as they used to say, C, but match the bet of 2. Your option, sir. Option number 3 is to raise, and that would be call the 2 and raise 2 more. Match or call. Let's call it call from this point. And now it is up to Yahtzee lady.
Since this is a learning environment.
Is this going to be a long story?
Yes. No, I'm gonna fold up my tent. And go home.
There you go. She folds her cards. Now it goes to the next lady. She's called. You notice how the dealer's keeping the bets in front of everyone. We can easily tell visually whose turn it is. It's up to Mike. He is called and raised. Now it is, or as they say in limit, 2 bets. 1 call, another raise. 2 bets have been made. It cost this gentleman calls by putting in 4 chips. Fold.
Now, there are 2 raises left, is that right?
Yes, there are. That's correct. Good question, too. You got the right ta-ta, but the wrong ho-ho.
What'd I do?
Okay.
Oops, too many.
There we go.
Yeah, too many.
1 bet,
Right.
2 bets, 3 bets.
That's
There was the first bet. There was the first raise.
Right.
There's the second raise. Now it's up to the lady, and she has the option of either folding, calling or matching the 6 chips, or she can raise and put the last raise. We're playing 1 bet and 3 raises for this particular game. And you have chosen to?
I have a question first.
There are no stupid questions, I can tell you that.
Good.
All right.
Okay, I know that what I have,
Mm-hmm.
but when do you know when it's like, I don't know how to say, when do you know like when you
What's
should?
a good hand, what's a bad hand?
Yeah.
That's a stupid question.
No, I'm saying like, because you're gonna put out more, right? Aren't more gonna be, because
500 jokes just came into my head.
okay.
One more drinks.
All right, I'm gonna make this easy. I'm out. I'm folding.
Okay,
Okay.
we are going to allow you to stay in the game.
Okay.
And we're going to make a few adjustments here.
Okay.
Okay? We're going to give you the option of, first of all, if she were to choose to play, she liked the cards enough to stay in, but she didn't like them enough to raise. She would then have to put in how many chips to do so. A total of 6, but she already put this out, this blind bet, so that counts. So it would be 5 more, which you would see. Those 5 chips would then turn into her 6 chips. That would be option number 1. If she chose to raise and put the last raise in, it would cost her how many more chips? 7 more, correct. 7 chips would be this amount, and you would see that it would be, there's the call, there's the last raise. So what she has chosen to do in this scenario here is to throw her hand away. Now we're going to go what if number 2. What if these high rollers over here never got their chance to raise? Let's take their bets back just for the sake of the conversation. And they had just instead called or matched the amount. And she now wanted to stay in, and she didn't want to put any more money in than what had already been bet. What would she have to put in? 1 chip, which would then match the amount everyone else has. Now, keep in mind, these 2 players put in blind bets. They were forced to start the game. They never got the chance to act on their own hand, meaning raise if they chose to. So she would have the option in this scenario here of saying, I want to raise, in which case she would put in 3 more chips, making it 2 bets. Or she could say, I don't want to play anymore and fold. Or she could say, I match and I call. Let's assume she says, I call. Now what happens? We go to her. Keep in mind, she also was forced to make a blind bet. She's the big blind. Isn't it fair that she should get a chance to act on her hand as well? Meaning that she has one of 2 choices. You folks all had to make a decision. Do I want to put more money in or throw my hand away? Bet or get? This gentleman chose to get out. Yahtzee lady chose to get out. And they did so, and it didn't cost them any further. However, if she chose to want to just see more cards and not put any more money in, doesn't she have the same amount everyone else does already? So her first option would be, I've seen enough, I want to see some more cards, at which point she would then check. Check means that I want to stay in the hand, hold on to my cards, and continue the action as it is. Now, side point. Checking in a casino is very subtle and very universal. You can either check very clearly or just the most subtle tapping of the table. Any motion of tapping the table is considered in a casino to be a check. You don't need to verbally say the word check. So why I'm bringing this up is if you are a kitchen poker player who's wandering into the casino for the first time, who has an annoying habit of thinking about their hand in this situation, you're going to find that when you wanted to raise and make that big play, the dealer has already bypassed you because they figured that you had checked. So lose that habit immediately in a poker game. Tapping of the table means check. Okay, option number 2. She could check. Option 1, which means we're going to go to the next round. Option number 2, shouldn't she have the option to raise? And if she did that, I want to raise it. We start all over again, 2 more, all the way around.
What happens when it gets back to me? Let's say everyone.
Let's say everyone else has matched or called the amount you put in and it gets back to you. Let's everybody do that. Everyone put in their 2. All the way around the table. Now it's gotten back to you. Just visually look. Nobody's raised you. You can't now proceed to raise yourself. There's nothing else that can be done. The pot is what we call right. So let's take all of our bets back that we just did, and let's visually play it out the way it should be. All right, now she has announced a raise. She's put the 2 in. We go right to the person whose turn it is to act, and it's up to you. Could he raise if he wanted to? Yes, he could. But, attaboy, what a sport. Okay, now it's your turn. She has the same 3 options. Fold, throw it away, call, or raise. Same here. Bad play. But what happens now? His money goes in the pot. And we no longer have cards in front of him. This is what the dealer's doing, keeping the game visual. Any dealer anywhere on the planet could walk in right now and I could say, I gotta go make a phone call. Can you finish this hand for me? And they'd walk in, sit down, and say, oh, it's his turn. They have 2 and they have 4 in front of him. He has 2, he still has cards. We go clockwise up to him and he owes 2 chips. Oh, he hadn't let him. He'll be broke in no time. Good, he's raised again, which he can do. Punk is born every minute. Sir, up to you. Now watch what happens here. That's raise number 2. Remember, 1 bet and 3 raises. He has the option here.
One more raise?
Yes, there's one left. That's the call, and you're going to raise. Okay. We'll come back to you later, and it now costs you. You didn't want to go in the first time, so you're already mad at me. I should give you a rebate. We'll take your cards back. And now whose turn is it? Her money goes in the pot. Whose turn is it now? And take a look. Let's go clockwise. Who's next? Whose turn is it? What does she owe if she just wants to stay in the game? And there are no more raises left. One bet and 1, 2, 3 raises. Her only play is either to fold and throw her cards away or call and put in how many chips? 4 more, which you are going to.
Okay.
Drum roll, please. Now, whose turn is it? Okay. And she's going to stay in as well. Okay, and he's in as well. Now take a look. Is there anything else we can do now? Everyone has acted that had a chance to act on their hand, has done everything they can do. What we call this now is the pot is right. So the dealer will then gather all of their chips, put them in the middle of the pot. This now is what we are playing for. This belongs to no one. And by the way, I'm using both hands. No dealer would ever do that. They will keep the deck in their hand the entire time. They won't place the deck down. I'm doing it because I'm working with you guys. And I have people that are Yahtzee players and people that make moves and try to put too many chips in, so I have to use... Okay, round 1 is over. Thank you for watching. I'm Roger Rod, and I'm your poker expert for Professorate.com.